Have you ever met Miss Lindy? She's a gal with the bright red hair. Now she stands out from all the rest. You know her anywhere. Well, she's mine. Yeah, she's mine. Well, I love that little girl with the bright red hair. Have you ever seen Miss Lindy? She likes to dance all day, and when she does rock and roll, it takes your breath away. Well, she's mine. Yeah, she's mine.
Chess is an exercise in awareness. It is evolution in motion. I evolved. This is where I am today. I like the feeling of strength that the pawn on d5 gives me. It feels like building a castle, a fortress. Pawn goes to d5. It is supported by its brother on c6. The knight comes to f6 for more stability. Bishop goes out to f5 as a guard outside the gates. Eventually, the pawn on e6 forms a triangle for the safest pawn structure in the center. It gives me confidence for the upcoming battle. This is the Chebanenko Slav.
Hello, guys. I'm Marko from Croatia, and I will try to make the Banter Blitz. So, first of all, I would like to say hi to all. I'll try to do my best to get as much point as I could. I'm just start to be joking, but yeah, I would like to use the time for playing with you guys and maybe even trying to, show you something or improve your game. So also, I'll try to make my usual repertoire, and in overall, I would like to play with white, Tore and the Pseudo Kropowski, about which I published the book yesterday on the Chessable. So we shouldn't lose any more time. Let's get straight into the action, and why not to accept the challenge from Mr. Checkmate Boomer. It's a 3 minutes and 2 second increment. So, hi, Mr. Checkmate Boomer. I hope that you want to play the Torre. So, yes, try the King's Indian. Knight on 6, Knight on 3. Let's here. G6. See what Mr. Checkmate will go for here. So, after bishop 5 here, yeah, Torre attacks. I we could do to not allow that. So yep, I'm trying to get a bishop on g7. It's the idea from the King's Indian. It's a very standard way to play the Torre. So I'm trying to get a d6 instead of d5, which usually people who are like to play Greenfield goes instead. And after bishop to e2, I'll castle. And now white could, yeah, castle as well. Now there is a number of different options that like try. Trying to play against the receiver, let's try to go for something like why not let's see, knight bd7. So the idea is to defend the knight f6 and then start thinking about how to deal with bishop on c8. There are the options for me now to go for a c5, go for a e5. E5 in my opinion is slightly difficult to handle later because white's usually trying to get very solid structure after c3. There is no clear way to play for e4 because usually this would be in favor for white. Now one is still weird. It is better to go knight e2. Now I'm going for let's say c5. Is 5 minutes okay? Audio rough. Let's see what I try to do. Maybe because of the Skype, but just a second. Let me try to play something and then get the audio maybe better. Okay. So let's see what happens. A4, yeah, very nice move that, white is usually trying to go for a4, a5 and get the advantage on the queen side. The best approach is to play a6, play tight on the queen side, and then after all, you want to bring all the pieces there. So after knight a3, bishop to b7. I like more this knight to be on a d2 because it's usually the square from which you could get even the knight maybe on the king side if you need it. So after knight 7, I have to hurry up this game because I lose a little bit of a time trying to get this audio. Could you please guys tell me is now better? H3, H6. Yeah, better. Okay, thank you. Or if it's not, please let me know. Okay, rook c8. How is better now? Okay, Remnik, thank you very much. Bishop h2. Let's try to get b5 there. So bishop c6. Okay. I'm trying to get a queen on b7 and then go for a b5, or even maybe queen b8 with the intention to go b5. The problem is that if I'm going with queen on b7, then after knight a5, both the queen and the bishop on c6 will be attacked. So why not to get first the queen on d8? Now it's time to go for d5. So I'm trying to get a nice grip on the queen side. So yep, b5, a b5, a b5. If knight a5, then knight will be a little bit misplaced. If knight a3, then let's go for the bishop to d5. Now also I could take on f3 at certain point, but still I'm not, trying this immediately because I like to have this bishop. And here, should I go for the queen c7? Okay, let's try. And then rook b8 is my next move. Bishop f3 is still. I'm still capable of getting bishop f3. If he takes on c5, I'll take with the knight on c5. I could also try to get knight on e4 if I could, and then also rook b8 is very strong because the b file is now something I would like to use to play on this position. Also, the idea is maybe to get a queen on c6, and then okay, a8, then rook b8. I'll get all my pieces there on the queen side, so why not? And now I'll put my queen to b7 in the next. Yes, or c6 maybe instead. Maybe 6. If rook a8, a8, yeah, the knight on f3 is hanging. It's not hanging usually, but I'll take a pawn if I could. So I'm a pawn down, that's for sure, which means that white makes a very nice game here, but now I'm not sure about that because would I take on b5, bishop to c4? I'll take on b4 first. Now let's see what I'd like to do. Probably knight d4 is the only move because if not, I'll take on b5. So knight 4 in b7, and we are playing on b2 is hanging. I have I am still a pawn down, but I have very active pieces. But still, I think that white plays this opening very, very good and now has a better position. So let's go for the knight c5. Yep, I'm a little bit behind here. That's how I have to go for some kind of, attack, probably with the bishop e4, or maybe even trying to get after e5 something there. Here, actually, this looks very dangerous for 96. Yep, I have the problem on the inside, that's for sure, but, you have to try to defend this position. That's the only way how you could play here. Rook b1, yeah, why not get the rook on c8? Now I'll try to go for something on the c file because the knight on c4 is in danger. If here, I could also go for queen a8. Now c4, very interesting. Let's go for the bishop 4. If bishop d3, I'll take on g2. If not, I will take the rook b1. And now I have a very nice position because I managed to, break his king side structure. So this is very dangerous for him. I also have knight d4, queen f3. It's possible here as well. I'll just take this knight and take this. So yeah, this looks very dangerous for him. So I have 2 pieces for the rook, but also have a very strong attack going to the king side. So this means that it's not easy for him to play. Okay, let's go knight 4, then knight h5. Everything should be very, very dangerous on the king side. So yeah, now I'm all the pieces there. I have also all kind of attacks on d4. Yeah, now it's very difficult to play this. That's for sure. Let's go with knight back. The idea is to get the bishop on 4, and yeah, I think that white should, think about designing this game. This is just very bad for him. Yeah, queen takes on 4. Now the rook of d1 is hanging, and that's the end of the game. So thank you, Mr. Boomer, but it looks like I managed to win the first one. So let's see what else we could do. Who we have here? It is a lot of a player. Let's try to go for someone who is playing on 5 minutes now. Mr. Roy Mustang. Hi, Mr. Roy, and let's see what we could do. So e4, c5, I'm usually playing, black, the Sicilian, knight f3, knight c6 is d4, c takes knight d4, knight f6, knight c3, e5 is the specialty of Sicilian. Um, yeah, I use it from time to time, so it's a very nice opening. But yeah, I'm not Max, and it's hard to play like him. So let's see what we could do in this position. Sounds better when Marco sits forward. Okay, dear Zealand, let's try to sit a little bit more forward. A4, it's very interesting move. Now, let me remember what is here the idea. I think bishop on g4 at certain point, but should I go with immediately with it, or maybe to insert a6? Let's insert a6, and now after knight a3, bishop to g4. Now, f3 and bishop e6. If d5 would be a very nice option for black. If bishop e2, then he lose the control over d5 square. So again, I'm able to just take on e2 and go for d6, d5, and free my game there. So it looks like it's a very solid, position now for black. And now I have d5 immediately because he's losing d5 control with the queen on 2 instead of d1. Yeah, in my opinion, black usually have here a very comfortable game. Probably nothing, you know, exactly better, but yeah, it could be equal only after 10 moves. Then I think we make something very concrete. Now, yeah, bishop g5 with intention to take on 6, but now could I just go for a d4 or even knight d4? Both seems very reasonable. If he's going for d5, then I can go in a5 check. Let's go for d4. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not so good, but let's see what it could be. Okay, now in a5 check. Yeah, let's see what he'll do. Okay, so guys, do you have any questions for me? Can you try to whether it's okay. So choppy, but now I think it should be fine. So guys, I'm here listening to you. If you have any kind of questions for me, please just try to make. I'll try to do my best to give you a little bit of something there. So yeah, bishop d2, queen d8. Now if bishop g5, I actually could try to repeat the moves, queen a5, but of course, um, I think that usually I'll go for bishop e7 and then start to get a little bit of something. Ah, immediately he takes that. Okay, then I'll take with it. There is no need for me to compromise my own structure there. Actually, I think here about what? C3, bishop d5. Fine. Yep. And now the idea is, of course, when I manage to castle short, I'll just get my queen on d6 probably, and start thinking about certain positions, about the attack on e4 pawn, but also I'm thinking about getting my rooks on c and the d file. The only thing that I don't want to allow in this particular position is to get the knight on d5, and at certain point, probably knight c4, knight d6, knight d5 is possible. So I should get my bishop on c5 and keep the bishop there. So yeah, if it takes on d4, I have knight d4, so I'm not really concerned about that. I immediately. Yeah, now I could try to think about taking with the knight, bishop. Let's take with the knight, and then I'll take with the bishop on a3, and knight on b3 probably will get a piece if I'm. So yeah, it looks like black is winning here on the spot. Um, it's a blunder here, and yeah, I don't see how he will defend at least the exchange if I'm not wrong, or if I don't see some ghosts here. So, what after knight g5, and then after queen g6, looks like he managed to save the bishop, so it doesn't really work. But okay, very nice. What else I could try? Queen knight on 2 is interesting move. Very interesting. Go 6 instead. Now, the idea is to get knight e2 at certain point. So if queen g6, take with the ball, and then knight e2, knight e3 are a trick. So it has to be very careful not to run into something very bad, but it's hard to find the move exactly because now this lose again after knight b3. So yeah, I managed to trick him. So usually I'm playing with Black the Sicilian, and I try to go for the Sveshnikov, or if I'm in the mood to play something completely different, then I used to go for the modern. But usually I'm just playing the Sicilian. Okay, rook 7. Now there is think about 5, but I'm a clear piece up. It's a kind of winning position here for sure. Marko, um, who is the greatest Croatian player from history? There are, it's not easy to answer on this question, but my favorite Croatian player of all time is probably, I don't know if I need to choose, I'll probably choose Zdenko Kovac. Rook 6, f7, rook b6. I'll just go. I mean, everything is defended, so I can do whatever I want. Let's say rook c4. Marko, is your course on Chessable for beginners? If you think about, Bruno, about Coleman Collect e4, then yes, it is. Basically, it's for the player from the beginner type of rating up to very strong, I'll say non-professional players, because professionals usually just have them all have their own repertoires. Yeah, so here there is not much to go for. Rook. Now let's go for knight c6, and then I could try either exchange the rooks or just getting a1, start getting the queen. So, yeah, it's not easy for him to play here. And now here check d2, rook takes d2, take d2, or here I'm just going for rook a2, then knight d4 probably, and then and why not check? So yeah, now it's hard to escape from this. Audio is really bad. Is now better? Please told me. Dear Fatih, is now audio better? King g3, it's a check, and it's a mate. So let's try to see whom else we could try to play. So why not to accept now one 3-minute game, and let's see who is here. So Honor Kaplan 0 is here. So let's go and see what Mr. Onur could play here. So pozdrav or hi for Mr. Surgeon from Serbia. How are you? Excellent. So now I think that I found a position which I have to use to make better audio. Okay, excellent. Thanks for the game, dear Roy, as well. You play solid game. If you, I mean, up to time when you blunder a piece, I think you play very solid game. Still, I think that a4 is not getting any kind of the advantage for white. So usually it's better to get for some kind of main lines with bishop to g5 or even knight e5, as you could find in the very top games there. So let's try to see whom else we could play, because Mr. Honor is probably not here. So let's abort this game and let's go for something else. Let's see, Mr. Savage is here. So let's try to play Savage as well. Please, let's try. Oh, I'm white, so now this will be a torre. That's for sure. Only if Mr. Savage goes for something different. So, about exactly this is my main uh, theme in the calm and collected one. The idea is to simplify as much as I can the playing, grounds here in this territory, and usually after c5, d5, I will see what black is willing to go for. Yeah, b5 is one of the moves which I think are too early in the setup where there is no pawn on c4, but it's still, certain point like late. So after a4, immediately he'll have a pretty tough time to organize a defense on the c4 square. So usually because of this position where the pawn is still on c4, b5, in my opinion, is possible, but I don't like it in particular. So we'll see what Mr. Savage will go for here. Bishop to b7. This is very interesting. Now I could even sacrifice a pawn before. I see some games I think that even Kramnik play very similar move. I also could try to think about here about the move 6. Hi Lorenzo. Thank you. But let's try to sacrifice a pawn before, and let's see what Mr. Savage is trying to achieve. Yeah, it's very tough tough game after. I mean, there are kind of a different things. Now, if I'm not wrong, there are a number of different options, but I'll probably not remember what's the best one. So let's take on b5 and see from there. Voice is breaking. I really don't know why, but I'll do everything I can to improve that. That's for sure. So g6, bishop d3. Is there any kind of bishop d5 issue? Yeah, it is. So maybe go for if let's see. It's interesting move. I mean, like he's trying here to get a position which, in my opinion, great if he managed to get in the center. If not, he'll be probably in a very, very bad position after a few moves. Uh, yeah, thank you very much, dear Checkmate Boomer. I'm very glad that you find this course to be very nice for the beginners. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, of course, every single every single player should have his own ideas here and there. That's something that is really important in chess. But in general, I'm trying to get this to be as great as I could in order of simplify first of all, and then also get a little bit of something that is unique, and that no one's usually played before. So I think this in general at least. Rook h4. So now I'm trying to checkmate the king side. We'll see if this will work. Usually this is very hard to achieve position like this one, but yeah, it's very active for white. I'm still pawn down. It's important, but let's take his um, pieces on the queen side. They are not so great. So let's try to see what we can do. So let's go for the bishop h6 with the Bruno. Unfortunately, I don't have headphones now, and I think it's the noisy sound because of Skype. But we'll see if we can improve that. Bishop takes on e2, queen takes on e2, I suppose. Yep, I'll take him to get even a second pawn because I'm not really sure if this will help him in the long run. I have here some very nasty moves like queen and then queen h6. After all, I always have the idea of after e takes d5 taking on g7 or e5 as well, maybe even queen on d2. So, but very nice play from Mr. Zevich, that's for sure. Um, Mr. Dangerous, right? Very, very nice comment. Yeah, you see, it's possible. It's hard to imagine, but why not? Thank you, Damien. Thank you, Bruno. Yeah, I know Adagmat is the Antonio from the place called Križevci. I have an honor to talk to him, even play with him as well. Yeah, he takes d5, but now it looks like I'll have a very complete play. So let's try immediately to go for the bishop g7. Now king g7, now the pawn on d5 is hanging, and now after d4, I'll go for queen h6 check, and then knight d5. And it will be very hard for him to defend against the checkmate on the h7. Um, Unfortunately, I didn't meet the Kasparov yet. Maybe sometime. See what else we could find in the chat. Yeah, Sergeant, it's a problem because of a Skype. We are trying to stream um, and we are using the Skype, so the noise is from a probably background. We are using the two applications, Skype and Chess24, and still the YouTube. So let's see what we'll try to improve, but we'll see where this will go. Knight takes d5, and now white is in complete control. I mean, if black needs to go with the rook on h8, trying to check to cover the checkmate on h6 and on g8, then this is very suspicious because rook on h8 doesn't play. Either the rook on a8 is not playing, so it's very tough for him to get something here. Now let's get the rook from h8 completely out of the play, or even I could go for the smart rook one. Why not? Let's go. Now if king e6, I have queen h6, and then knight e7. That's very, very tricky. If rook e6, actually, which is a much better. Now I could try to go for maybe queen h6 check, king g8, e6, d6. Oh, this doesn't really work. What else I could try? I could try to take, I could try to go for knight f4. I could do a lot of stuff, but let me go for king on c3 maybe. Let's try to go for rook f4 in the next move. Which time control? Yeah, I'm usually here trying to accept the 3 minutes or a 5 minute game because I'm really trying to talk as fun as fast as I can. It's still not enough, in my opinion. It's maybe slightly better to go for 5 minute games for now, but we could try to think about whichever time control that try here. Yeah, now this is just excellent for me, and it's very hard for black to get out of this. It's very nice grip on f6, so I don't see the main continuation that will him, and there is a g5 in here. So this looks like very hard option to defend. Yeah, rook f5, but still, I have rook takes g5. Here I'm going for the knight on uh, f3 or the knight on g2. Yeah, why not? Then maybe knight e3. Then maybe get the rook back. Then go for the knight f5. So there is a lot of very interesting things here, but also I could get my knight on h5, which looks even like a better solution here. h5 is not possible because of rook g5, I suppose. So this doesn't work. The only move is king to g6. I agree with black, but now let's go for knight e3. If knight e5, I'll take the knight on d5. Now we have a very interesting position, but let's see what we could do after the queen on d3. Now queen e4 in the next move, if after knight e5, and if not, could I go for? Oh, it's not clear. Queen g3, maybe h4, h5, rook f3, rook g3 back. The knight can't really move. Okay, let's go for h4. Let's go for h5. On f6 is hanging, so he can't really go there. Queen b3 is important move here. Yeah, queen b7. Now white is just, I think, rushing black because it's very hard to defend everything here. Yeah. Yeah, but very nice, very, very nice play, Mr. Zevich. Let's try 3 minutes, say Mr. NIC JK 2020. But let's see who else is here. Mr. Magpie. Why not, first of all, say hi to Mr. Magpie. Hi. I hope that you enjoyed this stream. So let's see what we could do. D4, D5, bishop D5. So this is actually the second part, or probably second, the biggest part in um, the Pseudo Trompovsky, which is a very big chapter in the following book. Coleman collected D4 as well. So the idea is to get extremely unique, very nice position over the game, which usually, is something completely different than your opponent is trying to even learn. Not to say that he's probably not playing this almost ever in his life. And I really, try to prove that White is having, um, you know, enough play there in those positions, because it looks like if you are not seeing these positions on a very top level, these positions doesn't work. But in my personal experience and with the games that I have played in the system, it's clear for me that at the 2500 level, it's more than enough really to get very, very nice position. So after knight g7, now this bishop from f8 would hard to find a way to get into the play, but I could try to think about taking on e5 immediately, or going for knight on c3. I actually could even go for the bishop on c3 if I'm not wrong, but let's try first of all to take on e5 here. Okay, and now I could try to think about getting the c takes e5. Okay, now after knight takes d5, let's go for knight on c3, and knight b4 is there, so I don't want to do that. But instead, what if I go for the bishop b5? Let's try. So yeah, you could see that after on the 8th move, Mr. Magpie play a very nice setup or the scenario here, and it looks like the position is very, very double-edged. Now, if you take a look at here, now I have one trick which usually we have in these positions, but what I would like to say is that although White doesn't have much, to be honest, I think that almost always in all those structures there will be a little bit of the weaknesses which White could try to get mainly on e5. So here, for instance, you see it is a pawn on e5, which is the weakness for now. Like get him with trick, but also the position all around like on e8, especially the light squares can be extremely dangerous. So now I have a trick. Bishop takes e6, and if you are playing the Pseudo, you will actually get this trick probably very, very well. And now it depends about how strong this trick is. But queen h5 taking on e5, you know almost always get to a very, very clear advantage for white. Also take a look at that white usually doesn't have some kind of weaknesses up to this point or even later on. So yep, white is here just better. So by no means black is lost. I really have to say, because can't really always get the winning position in 10 moves. But here it looks like white is just having very comfortable advantage. And after queen e5, if I don't overlook something in the next move, I'm usually getting here a very, very comfortable game. Queen f6 is actually a very, very nice move, because now black is trying to get rid of my best piece on e5. So let's try to take on f6. What else? Takes f6. Knight f6. Now bishop g2 is a check, so I have to go knight on f3. And then I'll just try to finish my development. I have zero weaknesses. I have extra pawns, so my position should be slightly better here. That's for sure. Rook d8. Okay, knight to c3, and then I'll go for the castle even long here, I suppose, because I would like to cover my d2 bishop, or even I could start thinking about knight 5. Actually, I think that I should go this for the knight 5 immediately after rook d8. It should be better. But we have to try to see what now. Yeah. Now I can't have a castle short because bishop f3, gf3, and I'll lose my. So let's go for rook d1 instead and see what. Let's see. Yeah, but very very nice, play from Mr. Magpie. I mean, very, very natural play here, to be honest, because in this particular setup, being a pawn down, the best thing that you could do is get rid of the weaknesses which you have here. Particularly, it was the weakness of the light squares and all around the king because my queen was very active. So he managed to exchange it, and now I have certain advantage because I have a pawn, but there are the bishop there, and I have to be very knight e4, yes, I probably should take on e4. Bishop takes e4, I'll go for the bishop c3. Yeah, now white is better because the pawn on g7 is weak as well. So probably I could start getting a clear advantage with the attack piece on g7. Okay, what else, guys? Do you have any other questions for me? Bishop d6, okay. And he's saying me that, okay, you can get a pawn, but probably after rook g8, white will have a problem with the g2 pawn. So let's get a king then quietly on e2 first. Now, my idea is to go for the rook d4, to be honest. I'm not in the mood immediately to take d7. I will prepare this. And then after g8, for example, I have moved even bishop to probably e5 at certain point. But let's go for if I can. Bishop f3 takes f3. It's clearly great for me. If this bishop is going back, then I would start thinking about rook d1, bishop b5, king d1. I don't see problem yet, but we'll see. Now the idea is to maybe get the rook back and trying to get the bishop on b4, with the idea to exchange all of the pieces there. Maybe this is not so great, but yeah, we'll see in the next couple. And g6. Now I start thinking about a4, I think. Not for a4. Because bishop e5 at certain point it would be now I'll take this with the king. White the pawn structure there, right? Bishop h2 is never great because I'll just go for g3 and probably this will be all yet immediately because this bishop will be lost. So now I have a clear way, to get the f4, probably g3, and then go immediately after that with e4, e5, and a little bit of something. Or here, I think that after pawn endgame should be a winning for white because, yeah, pawn endgame is winning. So if I could get the bishop d4, then I'll go for f4, then I'll go for e4 eventually. So I'll get a very comfortable advantage in the center, and usually this is enough to get the great position. Okay, bishop b6, this pawn ending winning, I suppose it should be. Go for f4. And then I'm just going for e4, king c4, king c6, king c4, king d6, I'll go for e4. And thank you very much, Mr. Magpie, to, resign this position. And yeah, I managed to get one more win. And what Mr. Bruno is saying, do you think we can go to 3,000? I'm not sure. I'm not so strong, but we'll see. Let's see whom else we could, play. Mr. Who is here? There is plenty of, you know, challenges. You must lose this boats 5-minute game. Let's try to, play. It is not max boats, I suppose, really, because if I manage to get the game against him, this would be, the end of a winning streak. Thank you very much, Mr. Magpie. So d4, d5, bishop g5. As I told you guys, why not get Sudokovsky? It's a little weapon club level, believe me. So c6, d3, the idea is to get queen b6, and then after knight on f3, I'll just sacrifice the pawn on b2. And actually, this is a very nasty position for black to play. In the long run, for the pawn that black will capture here, in my opinion, it would not be enough to get a very comfortable position. So queen b2, knight b2. Just take a look at the developing advantage that white had. I mean, here eventually black is not having even one piece in the action, and he's just trying to move back and forth his queen on b6, b2, b6. So for this time then that he is getting the pawn on b2, he loses at least 3-4 tempis, and this is more than enough for white to get very strong advantage, positional advantage. So now even e4. I mean, although there is a pawn for black, in the long run, I have to say that white is having a very, very big positional advantage. So bishop b7, now b2, then rook b1, or one immediately. It looks very sad position for black. So let's go first of all b2. Let's be clever, because at a certain point I want to meet his. It's now better, guys. In the 8, okay, now I'm going for the rook b1, or maybe a4, e5. Okay, knight to e4. Now let's take bishop e7. Then queen to e4. Now it's a checkmate if he's going immediately for that. Okay, and if not, I'm putting my queen on h4. Then I'm getting my rook to e1. Then eventually I will have a pretty big positional advantage in these things. I mean, yes, black is having extra pawn, but this pawn he will suffer for a long time. Now I could even start thinking about a5. I'll probably just let's see him how he would like to counter. If not b6 immediately, then probably I'll go for rook b1. I have rook b3. I have knight e5. Bishop b1 would lift on the third rank. This looks extremely dangerous for him. Now I'll go for rook b1. Then rook b8, knight e5. Now this looks extremely difficult for him to handle. We'll see what happened, but I have a feeling that white is here having very, very nice position for this pawn. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So we are working on the sound here. So now I'm going for rook e1. Let's see where this knight could jump, and then rook e3, rook h3. This looks extremely dangerous for him, but I have also the moves like rook e3, rook g3. I have the moves like rook e3 to rook f3. It looks very, very dangerous for him. Okay, so we are working very actively on the sound. So yeah, we'll see what happened. But I hope, guys, that now it's a better. Okay. So c5. This looks to me like okay, like a move. But what now? Rook 3, rook g3. Let's try to checkmate him. If cd4, rook g3. If yeah, it's still not made, but I could even start picking up pawn after rook g3 and then queen d4, and then I have the pawn on a7 under attack. Yeah, white has here a lot of very nice, a lot of very nice things. Nice green screen. Yeah, it's really the Elgato green screen for for a record of course on the Chessable. So yeah, it's very nice. And now I could take on d4. I assume, or yeah, looks like dangerous, very dangerous position for black. But yeah, he's still kicking, so I don't have anything concrete yet. But you could see the the quality of pieces. I mean, uh, bishop c6. Could I take now on first of a7? Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'm getting my pawn back. Queen on 8 e3. It's kind of which could I could go for now. I could even start thinking about knight c6, then queen takes e7, and then c5 and a6. This is also very dangerous for him. I could also start thinking about queen e3, quite to give him a chance to steal. Wow, I have a lot of things here actually. Knight c6, queen c6, 7, rook b7. Wow, I have here a lot of different things. Um, which one would we go for a better endgame? Let's try. Let's take on 6. Let's take on e7. Let's go for c5. And then let's go for a6. I suppose that this should be very dangerous for him. The only thing now that I have is the problem with the rook on g3, but now I will lift this rook on the a3 and go for a6. Knight d5 is one of the pieces which looks great, but it's not clear, what this knight is achieving being on d5. Yeah, it's better for him to be on, for example, on c7, but then I could go for rook b3, and if knight takes on a6, I'll just go for rook a3 and he is lost. If not, b7 looks extremely strong. So let's see what we could achieve. Yeah, he's just not in a very nice shape here, but how to get him to b8 check? Check. Yep. Now I'm picking up on c6, and I have a extra pawn, which he had, a little bit before. So yeah, I think that I managed to outplay Mr. You must lose to this hopes. But still, let's see. He's still kicking. A5, rook 6, now rook 7. It's usually enough. I should just start thinking about the king that I have here. So g3 probably is enough just to secure the position of a king. And then I'm just going and breaking on the king side. 95, 7. I mean, this should be winning for me. For sure. Now c6. Now c7 is there, a7 is there, and he can't really do much. I'm pretty sure. So e4, a7, and then c7, then rook b8, and eventually I think. But I also go for a g3 just not to get checkmated. Yeah, rook b7 probably was better, but still, okay. It's just important not to get checkmated. So there is not much that, like, basically just because both those pawns are extremely c7 are extremely nice there, and yeah, one of those pawns would queen himself. You choose with order or randomly, Mr. Marko. No, I just randomly go, and start picking up you guys. So knight 5, what if I go for rook b8? Rook b8, knight c7, so I have to immediately go for bishop c4, I suppose. And now I could go uh, bishop d3 check, going for bishop e4 actually, and I could get my king there as well. It's just winning for white. Yeah, okay. Wow, this is not a bad move, but still, yeah. I managed to win, so we are a little bit closer to choose with order. Okay, so let's see, Mr. NS BG key. Why not to try? Wow, I misclick, I suppose, but yeah, I'll try to accept you in the next game. So Mr. Dangerous Right is as well here, so why not give him a chance to, start kicking me? D45, Bishop G5. I'm not supposed to get out of that. So H6 is in my personal opinion, just trying to get the same main setup. But usually, if you are start thinking about getting the position on getting this bishop on the inside, then if you're getting the bishop on h4, you can't really do that. So this is the most important. But still, I don't see the very big difference between those moves. Here, I suppose that we'll have a very, very main position in the Torre with the move e6. Once I play in 2019, so in the year before this one, I played with a Croatian Grandmaster Shaya, something very similar to this, but he was there trying to castle the low side with the very quick idea to go for b6. Here in this setup, after 95, white has a very stable advantage because of the, more space and very, very nice control over all dark squares in the center. So it should be at least slightly better for white here. Um, Thank you, Mr. Must goes to this box. Um, yeah, he was playing very, very nice. So it was a very interesting game. Yeah, now you could see also at certain point in those positions that like is going for immediately 95 and 97. I am not obligated by any means to exchange the bishop on e7. I could, but I'm not obligated. Here in this position, I'll take on e7. I'll go for f4. Now I have excellent outpost on e5. And now f6 is appeared to be, the best. But then I have a little bit of something in my mind. So let's see what, like trying to achieve here. Oh, I'm very glad that, sound is much better here. So black is still thinking, so I have a little bit of a time to say something. Um, I mean, those positions that you have here on the board are usually slightly better for white because of the more space and very clear control in the center. Like the pawn on e5 getting, h6 is a very smart move. But now I think that black is losing too much of the time. The actual idea at certain point would be for me to go for the bishop to b5, changing the knight um, on d7. So let's go for queen h5 instead. Guys, because of these, audio issues, I'll try to finish this game, and then after all, I'll be back for about, a few minutes. So please don't go anywhere. Stay here for a little bit more of, torturing me here in this Banter Blitz because you really play very, very nice games up to this point. I mean, I had very hard time to beat you in this Banter Blitz, that's for sure. Yeah. So f5, I'll take on f6, and now I'm trying to get my queen where e5 is the option, queen h4 is the option. I shouldn't allow knight g4 usually, probably go just the queen on h4. Now let's see what black is trying to achieve here. Rook g3 is very unpleasant. First of all, because queen h6 is possible. After e5, I think still I could even take on e5, but I could also try to think about, why not take on e5 first, then go for the rook g3, and then go for the rook on f1. Now, if I don't overlook something hard, I think that white should have a very straightforward attack on the rook f1 with the idea to take maybe on f6. Yeah, and black is also having a very big problem with the time, so it should be Yeah, this is very dangerous. Bishop g6 is there, so it looks like e5 actually. Queen h6. There is queen g3. Wow, this is very nice defense. But let's play the queen on f3. Okay, then rook f1, then bishop g6. Wow. Okay, to get this little better pawn structure for the end game immediately. Okay, okay. Now this is just better for white because um, I'm taking the pawn on e2 and I'm just getting the rook on e3, king on f2, g3. This is probably a game over. So yeah, I just have to be a little bit quicker and that's it. So yeah, I managed to probably win this game and now we should start thinking about how to make this video work. Sorry, audio to be better. So don't go anywhere. I'll try just to reconnect and then we'll start from there. So thank you for now and we will see us in a few minutes. I'm back, guys. So let's try to see what we could do now. We make some adjustments, so hopefully the audio would be better now. But let's try and see if this will be better. So let's try to find someone else who is willing to be here and play against me. So there is a few of the different people there. Let's try to go for um Carlsen Nightmare. I have to accept this challenge. I mean, if someone is a nightmare for Magnus, I mean, I shouldn't have so much of chance against him. Let's see. E4 5, knight f3, knight f6, special Sicilian, d4, main team, c takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, I6. Yep. And then e5. Yeah. This Sveshnikov is also the course that I made for the Chessable. It's actually my first one, so you could take a look at this as well if you want. I mean, I'm not so bad in the Sveshnikov. And here specifically not in this perfect scenario for black, I suppose. I think it's very, very easy to play. I think that it's much better, basically, to play here with black because I actually small pawn. So it's actually great if I have, after only 9 moves, a clear extra pawn. I mean, maybe I tried to get too much, but I not try to. So bishop c4, but now I'll actually try to split his structure. I could also try to wait for a little bit and cast first. Why not? I could also here at certain point immediately start thinking about how to liquidate this light square bishop, which is probably the only piece that is great for white. So in my opinion, we have a position where black is just having everything. So, but I could think about taking on c3, and I could also start thinking about getting the bishop on b4. So everything looks like excellent thing for black. Um, So let's try to think about what happens in this particular moment if I'm just taking on f3, and then I will just take on c3, and then I'll try to go for a d5, d4. Yep. Now it's clearly better for black. I mean, I have excellent position here. That's for sure. What do you think, guys? Is now the audio bad, or it's something that we could, hear? Ah, very bad. I mean, those technical issues are always something that is not great at all. But what we could do, we could just try to improve them. And for now, they are annoying. So yeah, here after queen on b6, I have a little bit of something on the queen side. Usually, here in those structures, if black is managed to get all the pieces into play, like here, um, now black should be in a very, very nice position. So yeah, now I could also try to get on c8 as well. Yeah, very nice tempo. Then so if I now get my other rook e8, and then so yeah, it's very hard for white to kind of defend the bishop, especially if I manage to go for a6. Now I'll probably exchange all the pieces, and this should be of white being better here. I think here that black is comfortably better. It is a clear pawn for black, and still I think that the light square bishop, yeah, if he's getting on a2, then rook 2, I'll pick up everything. So here this is a winning position. If I start kicking a little bit, should I take on b2, or should I just, you know, get pawns there? I could also start thinking about getting the back rook on c5. Why not to get a knight on c6? Just trying to cover the e5 pawn. Now, yeah, I'll just take everything. Then get a king on f8. But now, rook d5. Okay, okay. I managed to defend everything. It's just clear that black is completely winning. Now I'll go for a c5. Then I'll go for e3. Then I'll go but here as well. I'm just pushing my pawns there. So c3, rook c5, c2, and c1 is the queen, and actually that's the game over. So and it is the mate. So yes, now I managed to win this game. So who else is there to see whom I'm not play up to this point? What we have, uh, wow, there are a number of different players. Why not try to play against Van Set, Mr. Van Set? Now I'm black again. So let's see what Mr. Van Set is able to go for. Thank you, Mr. Carlsen Nightmare. It was very nice to, meet you and play against you. And you play a very nice game, I should say. Okay, at a certain point you managed to, break, but yes, it was a nice game. This is very interesting setup. And see what I could try. H6, if I'm not wrong, then I'll go after the bishop H4 to D6. Yeah, then I'll try to see what actually happens here. C2 castle, um, castle long. Now what I suppose. Hmm, this is interesting setup. I mean, I'm sure that it's not, great for white, but how I should continue? Going for knight on C6. F3. So now I'm going for the knight on D7. And then let's see what happens. The idea is to take on D4, of course, because, yeah, this D4 pawn is weak for now. And the queen on C2 is weak as well. So, but not even to mention the G5 is taking the piece. I think that white is really wants to get their G4, but probably he managed to get wrong. But here, actually, after E5, oh, I could lose a piece. So knight F5 should be there to move. Let's see what I could do with this knight. Mhm. So I have here something that I could try. Bishop H3, knight takes on H4. Okay, now knight going on C5. Now I'm going for bishop takes H3, and then I'm going for E6, I think. Yeah, it looks like a great option for. Okay, now I'm taking the pawn. What do you think, guys, now? Is now better? I don't know what happens now, but yeah, I think it's interesting. I think they're on G3, but should I go for something like queen C4? I don't see why not. So I take a lot of the pawns there. Okay, if I get, at certain point checkmated, then it's just because I'm greedy. But let's see if white could do something to prevent me from. Yes, something like this could happen, as I thought, because I can't really move my queen now. This looks awful, but let's see. Before I have a, I have a 3, 4 piece. Looks like something, but still, I think that I'm lost here. That's for sure. Let's try to get a bishop on E5, or maybe even to D8. But yeah, this is now completely lost. I overlooked the queen, so it's not. It's not. Yeah, I'm thinking about resigning here. Yeah, I'll resign. I lose my queen. So yeah, that's something that is usually here. If you are not really paying a lot of the attention. So Mr. Bank said, um, I congratulation to you. I mean, I managed to lose my first game, so it's not great, but yeah, it happens from time to time. So let's see if we could start beating someone. Let's try to play with Banter Blitz. Maybe I manage to win this one, and especially if I'm going with the Torre. Okay, excellent. Very important, for us guys to have a very nice sound. So B6, I'm for the knight on F3. I'm still going for something that I probably, showed in the repertoire. So yeah, H5 is just, in my opinion, a bad move, but we'll see. I could also play H3. Smart move. So knight B2. The only thing I would like to avoid here is to get E45. But eventually, I could go for C3. I could go for bishop on D3, and I don't see the reason why I should be in any danger. I mean, because of the H5 and H3, like we have a very bad scenario on the king side, so it means that white should be better. Queen C7 castle, F6. Wow. And if bishop D6, he'll go for the king D8. Okay. Let's not give him a chance to castle on the sides. Okay, but let's see how this will work. This position is just very sad. Like, I mean, the king is, on D8. He doesn't have any kind of coordination between his pieces. And now, if we manage to break in the center, this will lead to a disaster for him. So, let's look for E5 actually here. Then I'll take on E5, and if bishop takes, I have even, yeah, if knight takes, then would I take on E5? Take on E5 or E4, I suppose. Yeah, this is just completely lost for black. Yeah, bishop. Oh, he would like to checkmate me. Check on D6. And then after king d8, knight d7. If queen d7, bishop takes a6, check. The only move is queen d7, king d7, rook d1. And yeah, but Mr. Blitzer is resigning. So thank you very much for the game. It was actually very, very interesting game there. So let's see whom else I'm able to play. Let's try with Mr. Uh, Teja Ravi 2. So why not accept one game or 5 minutes? And I'm still trying to get my best to start with the Torre and then move on. So let's see what actually here is. Knight on f6, knight on f3. There is a lot of different things that I can try here. In this particular order, we are reaching the hybrid in the Torah and the Pseudo-Trompowsky. It's very interesting in general, and Black is probably should go for knight e4. If he's going for the bishop on g4, then I'm going for the knight on e5. And it looks like white is having, a better position here, that's for sure. Now I could try for f3. I could go for a e3. Let's go for f3 here in this move order. Knight e7, and now I'm trying to get the knight first, probably out. Not. So let's see what happens. And now I suppose for h4, there is a lot of different things I try. I mean, in general, white is having a little bit more space, and the black pieces should be okay. So g4, I'm getting a very clear advantage on the king side now, h5 as well. After e3 and bishop d3, I really think that white should be better here. Bishop c5, knight to b3, and then after bishop e6, bishop d3. And now if bishop d3, oh, knight c5. Now I take on h7, and I could go for f2. I could go for, no, why not to get knight c5, queen e2. Let's try to castle on one side if it's possible. Yep. Queen c6 and knight d4. What is actually a idea? Or king d1 maybe. Even better. Knight b3 now I'll take with the c pawn and I'll get my rook on c1. Then I'll get my queen on d3 probably, and then I'm doubling the rooks on the c file. So I'm having a very nice, aggression on the king side. I have a nice aggression on the queen side. So white is having complete control over the game. Now I have even d5, but I could also start thinking about playing a3, king on a2, and then start from there. I could even e4. I could go for e4. I could go for g5, maybe. Doesn't look great, but it is possible. But he'll get a rook probably on d8 and then start thinking about exchanges there. Why not to get the bishop back to d3? Maybe to reroute the bishop to d4, for example. It should be okay. I have a more of a space on the queen side, so on the king side, sorry. So it's like I have control, but let's see. He's able to get my bishop back to f4. That's annoying thing, but okay, let's go for d4. Let's go for a b5 here, actually. Why not if we can? So let's see. So let's see what actually black is trying to reach here. I think that in my opinion, white is now having a nice advantage. Take on c5, rook c5, rook c5, bishop c5, queen on c2, and if rook c8, I'll try to get my queen on h7. So let's see what happens. It doesn't allow me that. Okay, but would I go for e4 now? Why not? Okay, queen h7. It's a kind of idea. I don't know if it works in real, but why not try? I could go for rook c3, b3. I could start thinking about getting the dark square bishop on a better square, like for example, bishop to d2, bishop 4. What is the idea here? Queen d5. Okay, let's go for rook c3. Now rook b3. Queen d5. There is no queen d5. Let's try do something side. It looks risky, but if I manage to take on g7 and on f7, the b7 pawn should be, in danger. So let's see what we do. Queen d4 I don't like because of a what? Rook b4, queen d5, bishop g3, bishop e3, queen e5 actually, right? Maybe this is a good move. Let's get the bishop here. Queen c4, rook d1, but rook d3, queen g8 check, king c7, queen f7 check. No, this I think that this doesn't work if I don't overlook something here. Rook d3, queen g8, king c7, queen takes f7 check, king c6, queen e8, and yeah, I don't think. I mean, I could go king g8, king h7, and then take eventually on d3. So it looks like black is not having enough here, but we'll see. If rook d3, queen g8, king c7, queen f7, king c6, queen b7, it's a nice, I think, conclusion as well here. Actually, what is the idea? The idea is to go for rook d3, but then let's try to get the queen back. Now I have a pawn, so I'll try to go for f4, f5. Let's try to exchange the queens. And then if I put the bishop on eventually h4, probably, yeah, here he is overlooking the piece. But even if he is not, probably I'm just winning. So let's go for the last game in this Banter Blitz. I'm very sorry for a bit of a bad audio, and I don't know Switch Harmony 2881 FIDE Master. So why not trying to see what happened in the game against FIDE Master? So if knight f6, I'm trying to get my usual King's Indian. Bishop to f6, knight f3 g6, e3 bishop g7, knight c3. That's the idea. So let's go for b6. No, bishop g7. Let's try to go for something, fake it. e4. What about c5, dc5, queen a5? This actually, always offer white a little bit of something. Let's try to go for c5. Bishop b5 check, bishop d7. Knight f7. I don't know. I mean, yes, white is having a little bit of advantage probably here, but it's not something that will make black life miserable. I mean, black is having all the pieces there in play. If I manage to get my knight to 6, usually I'll get pretty much very comfortable position. Yeah, dc5. Now I could try queen a5, or I could try even to go for the knight c5 immediately. I think both moves looks fine. Let's try for knight c5. Now I'll just castle. And yes, black is having perfectly fine position. Here I have knight to e6, which looks like excellent option. Knight e6, then I'll take on e5, and then I go for knight c6. I think that here is the end of black problems. Usually, those positions with the probably c pawn for white should be benefit for even black. So let's see what he's trying to achieve here. Okay, let's get my rook on d8. Let's get my knight on c5. Probably I'll go for a5 and then e6, and then we'll start thinking from there. Yep, c5. What actually is going on? I mean, he wants knight d4, knight d4, d7, no, knight c5. Let's go knight c5. Queen c3. e5, f6, e5. Why not? And I'll get my knight if b4 knight. Yeah, if not, I'll go for f6. Yeah, I think black is just fine. Okay, I'm now trying to get my queen on f8, for example. Okay, then I'm getting my knight on e6 on d4, and that's probably the end of the white advantage here. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But in overall, as I mentioned, I think is that this game is actually, knight c7. This thing, rook attack, so rook c8. Okay. yeah, as I mentioned, this game unfortunately is the last one, but I hope not the last time that I play the Banter Blitz. But in overall, I was really enjoying playing with you guys, and I hope that you also enjoy to play with me as well. Now I have here a very comfortable advantage, probably here in this particular game, but I have not so much of a time, and usually this is not actually great. But I have some tricks here. Yeah, he managed to if I take seven, if I take five, yeah. But I was, just having b5 in my mind. So now I managed to make a very, very big blunder. And yeah, I eventually managed to lose this game. So I have to resign. Thank you, dear Sweet Harmony. It was a very nice game. I managed to, probably comfortably get the equality or even slightly better position. But in overall, it's a game. So in every single game, you could make mistakes. So that's why that's what I make here. So thank you guys for being with me today. I hope that you enjoy playing with me as I enjoy playing with you. If you like, I could give you more inside of information about the course that I make, or even all three of them that I make on Chessable. And I really hope that we'll have, a few more times to play this Banter Blitz because it's very fun. So thank you once again. Um, have a nice day, and I hope that you enjoy my gold